It's my pleasure to welcome Orlando City SC as Major League Soccer's 21st expansion team. Yeah!
It's the end of an era. The final USL Pro season.
Takes a shot, and it's a goal! Orlando City!
There's a target on our back, but we've only got one mission. Win. 2 goals, a ball, and a culture defined by success.
Make sure we get up to the guys, yeah?
Don't think we're just going to overlook this season. After all, we have a title to defend.
From ESPN Wide World of Sports at Walt Disney World Resort, this is USL Pro Soccer 2014. Tonight, the unbeaten in first place Orlando City Lions face the Montreal Impact Reserves. Bonsoir, bienvenue. Good evening and welcome everybody to another YouTube telecast of Orlando City and USL Pro Soccer. I'm Jeff Radcliffe. To my left, my partner is always Tom Traxler. Interesting matchup tonight for the Lions in that a little bit different of a lineup. In fact, 3 guys out on international duty, and the Lions will have to adjust.
Well, that's the good news, Jeff, that 3 players are out on international duty. What's it like to say you have 3 players that can go off and do that play in your team? That's a great thing for Orlando City. But it's also a great thing for the players that haven't been getting an opportunity to play. So we're going to look tonight at an Anthony Pulis. We're going to look at an Austin Deleuze. We're going to look at a Brian Kobe Spann. They get to step up and show Coach Adrian Heath what they can do. And I know Coach Adrian Heath, and if things go really well and the team performs well, they may see themselves solidify a spot in this lineup.
One of the players out, though, Kevin Molino, the leading scorer. He is with Trinidad and Tobago, played against Argentina the other night. Now, as far as this game, this is a game, the second of 2 against reserve sides from MLS team. The Montreal Impact, a bit of an unknown. It's going to be a mix of academy players, PDL, U23 type players, and some of your regulars. How do you approach that when you're in Orlando? You're not used to seeing a team like this.
No, but Orlando City approached the game the same way every time, so it'll be no different tonight. Orlando City have a way to play. They set up in a 4-2-3-1. They're going to get the backs forward. It's going to be possession. It's going to be attack-oriented. And they always say, hey, it's up to you to stop us. So I can't see Orlando City changing or going away from that at any point in time tonight. But they're going to have to be on their toes because they might not know exactly what's going to come at them the other way.
Tom, they know what they're going to get from the left back. Meshack Jerome, yes, just signed yesterday by Montreal. He will start in the back for his new club. And what do we know about Meshack other than the fact that he is a Haitian international?
Well, he's also a former Orlando City player, was a big part of Orlando City teams. Just recently finished the season, certainly this year with Sporting Kansas City, but last year figured in about 10 matches for Sporting Kansas City in their run to an MLS Cup. He's a solid back. He understands the position very well and a gamer. Comes to life during the games. And he's a bit of a journeyman, but that's good for him because he's been in the game for quite some time. He's been able to play in Haiti. He's been able to play here in Orlando. He's been able to play for Kansas City. And now he's going to try and find a home with the Montreal Impact.
Another player with some MLS experience is Orlando City's player to watch tonight, Yordani Alvarez, the former Cuban international, spent some time with Real Salt Lake. He's got big shoes to fill tonight in that midfield.
Well, he's the man that makes the midfield tick. He's the ball winner. He's the distributor. He is the engine room in that midfield. And, of course, with the absences of his partner, Darwin Sarin, who usually lines up next to him, he is very, very important tonight.
Well, we caught up with manager Adrian Heath in training early this week, and he said as much.
Everybody this week, one door shuts, another door opens. So for the 2 or 3 players who are coming in, great opportunity for them to stake a claim and think to give me a problem the following week, and that's how we look at it. I don't look at the fact that we've got 20-odd players. They should all be able to play, so no excuses. Would we like the 3 guys back? Of course we would, but we haven't, and let's get on with it.
That Adrian Heath as teams on the field here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports getting introduced to the crowd. And we will get set for our national anthem. Will be sung tonight by Amalia Bragoni, and we'll be back in just a moment here on YouTube.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise as we honor honors its country with the flag of the Canadian national anthem. Please remain standing for the singing of our national anthem, performed tonight by award-winning singer, dancer, and actress, 10-year-old Amalia Brignoni.
Amalia Brignoni with our national anthem here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports. Moments away from kickoff between Orlando City and the Montreal Impact Reserves. Let's meet the visitors. The reserves, 1-1 in reserve leave action. In fact, that will take at Orlando City first. Why not? Tom, the lineup sets a little bit differently as we have a couple of new starters for the Lions.
Well, the good news is most of these players are used to playing with one another, Jeff. So Miguel Gallardo will be starting in between the pipes tonight. And in front of him, Luke Bowden, the stalwart left back, will be, of course, on the left side. Brad Russin will be in the middle. Alongside him, Tyler Turner. And Brian Burke will be manning down the right side of the defense. Holding midfielders will be, as we talked about earlier, number 10, the man in the middle, Jordani Alvarez. Next to him, number 6, Anthony Pulis. The middle three in the midfield, Adama Mbenge will be over on the left side. Brian Kobe Spann in the hole, and Austin Deleuze will be manning on the right. And up top, the man they like to call Sonic the Herzog, Corey Herzog, will be your forward.
For Montreal, their senior side coached by Frank Klopas. The reserves coached by Nicholas Kuniakis, and it will be a 4-4-2. Maxime Crepeau is the goalie along the back. We talked about Meshack Jerome. He'll be on the left. Fudi Dansu and Matteo Ferrari, a couple of guys who see a lot of time in the senior side in the center. Janouk Charbonneau, an 18-year-old, out on the right. Through the midfield, it is Maxim Tissot, Callum Malice, Louis Belangoyet, and Victor Ndie. And the 2 attackers, regulars on this reserve side, Anthony Jackson Hamill and Santiago Gonzalez, a native of Uruguay. So Montreal dressed in the visiting whites. Orlando will be in the purple. Our officials tonight, Matt Miscannon is the head referee. He's assisted by Esteban Rosano, Julio Noboa, and the 4th official on the near touchline, Alexander Darostang. So a very familiar crew to USL Pro. Final instructions have been given to each side, and we talked a little bit about it just a moment ago, Tom. You don't see this team. This isn't Charlotte or Charleston or Wilmington. It's going to be interesting. We've never seen these guys. So do you play back a little bit, or do you take it to them?
No. If you're Orlando City, you play the way Coach Adrian Heath set you out to play. Again, for Orlando City, it's never about what the opposing team does, Jeff. It's all about what you do. So Orlando's going to come out in the front foot, and they're going to say, hey, Montreal, you have to be able to handle us. I believe that's the way they're going to approach it, and that's the way Adrian Heath approaches every game, no matter the opposition.
Impact Reserves 1-1 in Reserve League action. Bigger news for the folks up in Quebec is that Montreal just picked up their 2nd straight Canadian championship. They won the Voyageurs Cup on aggregate against Toronto. So Wednesday night, a really big night in the organization history. Of course, they've only been MLS for the past couple of seasons. In fact, they were the last expansion team. Orlando City will be one of the next, going with New York City in MLS next year.
Champions League is secured, Jeff.
For Montreal. So
the CONCACAF Champions League.
They take the foot off the pedal tonight in a Reserve League game with just 14 players available for the reserves.
No, they don't. These players have to look at things totally differently, don't they, Jeff? To be honest with you. And it's kind of like what Adrian Heath alluded to in his comments, that it's a time for players to step up and be seen. Well, that's what these players want to do. They want to have good performances so that the coaching staffs and the hierarchy in Montreal Impact are talking about them. They want to make a breakthrough into the first team. So for them, it doesn't matter that the club has won, another Canadian championship, that they're headed to the CONCACAF Champions League again. It's great. You're a part of that club. But for these players, they want to be regularly plying their trade in that first team. So they can never take their foot off the gas pedal or look down at a game or not, because these are opportunities for them, Jeff.
Both teams with a little less depth tonight, as we mentioned in our open. Kevin Molino with Trinidad and Tobago, Darwin Serwin, the captain of El Salvador, and of course Tommy Redding, the 17-year-old with the U18 American national team. They're playing in Portugal.
What great opportunities for those players. Look at this.
That one sent on frame and covered up by Crepeau, the 5'11", 199-pound keeper out of Greenfield Park, Quebec. Just 20 years old. He's a homegrown player for the Impact.
Well, he did well there. He held on. Sometimes those balls can come in and they come off you and you're not able to hold on, and that's when trouble happens. So he was able to hold that one nicely, but what led to that was Orlando City, nice ball movement, finding Austin Deleuze in the middle there, was able to turn and fire.
So Luke Bowden will start the switch off. Now here's Alvarez, who we featured at the beginning of the telecast.
You were talking about the players that have an opportunity to go and play in these friendly matches, these World Cup tune-ups, if you will, for some nations. But for them, it's a chance to participate in big matches in front of, 80,000 plus people. I can't wait till Kevin Molino comes back and we get to talk to him and find out what it was like down in, Argentina, playing 80, in front of 80,000, being a part of that and getting to step on the field and play. And, Darwin Sarin gets to play against the current world champion Spain. What great experience for these players.
What's at stake for the Lions tonight? Looking to stay unbeaten. Of course, this game against the reserves counts in the USL Pro standings. It also counts in the MLS Reserve League standings. So that's part of that relationship between the first and third division sides.
Yeah, these are games that count. So, and you see Corey Herzog running there. He's not taking it easy. This is not a friendly in any way, shape, or form. These are precious points, Jeff. Orlando City have themselves a nice 6-point cushion sitting in the league right now, and they certainly want to add to that. Montreal in their reserve league, they're 1-1. So they want to get the 3 points. You don't want to go 1-2.
They certainly have a couple of games in hand in those standings. Lions defeated FC Dallas Reserves 3-2 on the road back in April for their first win of the season. They're unbeaten against MLS Reserve sides, and their record is not too bad against the starting MLS, the senior level clubs, especially in U.S. Open Cup play. Of course, we got the game coming up at Colorado next week.
Jeff, their record's not bad at all, period, for anybody. I think they've only lost one game in any competition so far this season, Orlando City, and that was to the Italian Giants AS Roma. So does that really count? No, I don't think so.
That was a 1-0 game against the team that finished second in the league. That one headed on and tipped over the top of the bar by Crapo.
Well, it'll be a corner kick. Austin Deleuze again. Or was that Anthony? I think that's Austin Deleuze. Good cross in, and yes, Austin Deleuze getting up there with that educated noggin of his, putting that effort on frame, forcing Crapo to touch it over and giving Orlando a corner. First corner of the night.
Adama Mbenge, the Senegalese midfielder, lets it fly. It's in to the 6-yard area and takes a glancing blow off of Montreal. So
I wonder if that was touched by the keeper, because that looked like it was so close, Jeff.
Orlando will
clearly
approach corner kick number 2 here.
Clearly touched by a Montreal player. Just wonder if the keeper got a hand on that as he came across.
That one sent away right to the middle of the mixer. And now drilled. And now Montreal will try to break out. Along the right side, Zendie. It's Gonzalez rather the forward there on that right flank.
It was nicely defended by Brian Burke there. Did a really good job.
There's Luke Bowden. We'll send it all the way across in direct fashion, and it will go harmlessly into touch. Throw in for the Impact. Impact founded back in 1992. They began MLS play in 2010 as the league's 19th team, as Meshack Jerome seeing his first time in the blue and whites. Jerome started the season at Sporting Kansas City and fell out of favor, I think, after that CONCACAF Champions League match, in which Sporting KC were humbled down in Mexico.
Not the first American team to have that happen to him, for sure.
No, not at all. I'm glad to be back in the fray, for sure. You spoke to him ahead of the game.
I did. Had an opportunity to see Jerome welcoming back to Orlando. He's excited about his new opportunity with his new club. It's a fresh start. It's a fresh start for him, and you certainly wish him well.
Again, just signed yesterday. Ball taken over in the middle. Here's Kobe Spann. FC Dallas loanee has it go off his right foot. And like a good player does, he goes back to retain the ball. And Matt Miscannon awards the free kick.
Don't you hate it when that happens? Ball just didn't quite cooperate with what you wanted it to do.
Very experienced pair of center backs in this one. Fudi Dansu and Matteo Ferrari, each over 30 years old. Dansu 31 now. Corey Herzog got his first goal of the season last week. Leaves it off to the top of the 6, and Spann couldn't get there.
Wow. Wow, that was close. That's Corey Herzog, though. You saw him. He never quits on anything, Corey Herzog. He took a shot, ricochets off Crapo, but he keeps persisting and got to that rebound, knocked it across heavy, but he was doing everything he could to get to it, and it just caught Brian Kobe Spann a little out of stride. But that was all Corey Herzog and his hard work there.
Victor Ndie along the far touchline. Nice little give and go action to Charbonneau. And the academy player on the move sends it forward, and it'll be collected nicely by Brad Russin. And Orlando will look to counter. And going back to that center back pairing, Ferrari and Dansu both have caps with their national teams. Back in the day, of course, Dansu Gambian, 10 caps. And Matteo Ferrari, the Algerian Italian, believe it or not, had 11 appearances for the Italian national team. Played with Roma, Genoa, Parma, Inter, so all over the peninsula. And came to Montreal from Besiktas in Turkey. That one bent to the far post. Nicely saved by Crepeau.
Well, if he didn't pull that one in, Corey Herzog was right there lurking. Look at him. He's lurking behind him now. Corey Herzog is like a pickpocket artist. You better be on your guard the whole time while he's out there.
Throw in Montreal.
You talk a little bit about the experience at the back for Montreal and Fudi Dansu. I know he was a huge fan favorite in Portland. He had been with Portland. He's no stranger to the USL as well, Jeff.
He was just traded about a week ago.
Well, in 2009, he played for Portland in the USL. So no stranger to this league. Was a part of them for their inaugural season in MLS. And a real tough thing when they had to let him go because he was a real part of their growth and development as a club and a real fan favorite there. So
2011 to 2014, 60 appearances, 4 goals from the center back spot. And traded the 2nd of this month. So he's just adjusting to life north of the border.
Of course, you talk about Matteo Ferrari. You know, he's got a lot of experience with big clubs. He's played with the first team at Montreal. As you mentioned, played with AS Roma. So a lot of experience.
Loaned out to Everton, so he's got time in the EPL. That one over the top. Ball ping-ponging off the heads of Orlando City players.
That looked like Kobe Spann.
Scores, stats, news, and more can be found exclusively on USLProSoccer.com.
Kobe Spann getting up there, getting that big frame up to try and get that thing brought on target.
And Spann in the hole tonight in the Molino spots. A lot of times we've seen him out on the right for Adrian Heath, a loanee from FC Dallas. I think it's a role that suits him very well, though.
He's performed well. The times he's been in, he's done a really good job. He's figured into goals. He's set up some goals.
And Benge has developed a nice partnership out on the left with Bowden. Now it rolls to Bowden. Top of the 6, a shot and a score! Orlando City goal!
Well, that one is right off the training pitch.
Kobe Spann has his 2nd of the season.
You'll take a look at this. That's Luke Bowden getting down the line. Here he comes. He's going to serve a low ball into the box right across. Kobe Spann coming in, trying to get across the keeper. Makes good contact, just redirects that one to the far post. Right off the training pitch, just as nice as you please.
Native of Westchester, New York, has his 2nd goal. And more importantly, the Lions have a 1-0 lead here in the 12th minute. Kobe was like, ain't nothing but a thing.
I tell you, Jeff, if you get a chance to ever go out to training, which I know you and I do, you will see that movement replicated at training many, many times when they're doing their crossing and finishing drills.
He heard us, his ears were burning. He heard us talking about how he's in the hole and filling the spot of Kevin Molino. And boy, that particular spot in this 4-2-3-1 has been very fruitful this year for Adrian Heath.
So is it the player or is it the spot?
Honestly, I believe Spann's first goal came when he was on in a substitute,
yes,
as a substitute for Molino. So that is now the 11th goal this season from that spot on the field, in that spot of the formation.
That's the lucky spot, Jeff. I'm sure players are queuing up to play in that spot.
Give credit to the wing players, though, of Orlando City for creating that.
Wow, it was a quality ball across.
Oh, looking on the right side for Brian Burke. Now Spann will send it on frame again.
That ball was set up on a platter by Luke Bowden. And, you know, Kobe was doing what you do, get across the keeper. He was coming to get across the keeper, got inside the defender, made good contact. A well-crafted, well-finished textbook opportunity for Orlando City.
Crepeau surveys the defense in front, lets the goal kick go.
And these players for Montreal had better be really fit, because if I look, there's only 2 players.
Deleuze in front. That one saved last minute.
Well, there it is again. Almost the same movement.
Ball still in play as Crepeau corrals it. Remains 1-0, and I believe that was Dansu that got back, cleared off the line.
I was going to say, there's only 2 players, Jeff, that can actually come on to the field to play. They have 14 players with them, one of which is a goalkeeper. So they're only going to be able to make really 2 changes, because you don't anticipate a team changing their goalkeeper unless something happens. Unless you pick up a weird card or an injury, an odd injury and a card. So these players better be super fit. And in this heat, Orlando City and their ball movement are going to be very important. The more Orlando City can keep this ball moving and make them chase in this condition, it's going to wear them down.
Our crack statistician, Austin Hiddle, in the booth performing a number of services tonight for the broadcast, says Orlando is out shooting Montreal 8-0 in just 15 minutes of play so far.
Well, you watch here, balls moving around. Orlando City's had it for quite some time, putting together quite a few touches again.
And this will wear a team with just 14 players out, too, playing Orlando City, which is going to possess and make you chase, and now they earn a free kick, does Luke Bowden.
Well, that's just the thing, and like I said, in this heat and humidity, which is not a condition that you would say they're very used to coming from Montreal.
No kidding.
Now, Jerome Mashak's probably getting reacquainted with it. He's probably going, yeah, this is the exact conditions I remember from being down in Florida.
Sure.
Hot.
You don't see the humidity at Stade Saputo, the recently renovated stadium, the home of the Impact. Seats 20,500. Sometimes they play their games at Olympic Stadium, the old Montreal Expos home. That's indoor, so certainly no humidity there. That one right on to Crepeau. No harm, no foul. Boy, nice takeaway by Orlando City. And Span involved there.
Austin Deleuze read that very, very well. You look at it, Austin Deleuze doing a good job sitting in the hole. With Span, as you say, filling out that Kevin Molino role, which is just to the right side of him, and he comes inside.
Sent away a cross, and Dansu will take the real estate available, play it out ahead, and too far out in front there for Ndie. Throw in Orlando. And Benge, quick turn. Defense closes in. Dansu able to spin out of trouble. There's Belen Goyette. Now Mbenge. Spread out the Span. Overlapping run coming from Brian Burke, who's got a great cross in him on most nights, and earns a corner kick for Orlando City.
As we're fond of saying, Jeff, if you're going to play left back or right back for Orlando City, you better have quite an engine room. And you better ready to get up and back, because that is what is required. And Brian Burke has the lungs of a horse. He can go all day long.
So
he'll be making that same run.
That is a compliment.
It is a compliment, because horses have big lungs.
Third corner goes over the top off the foot of Mbenge.
He can make that same run in the 88th minute, the same way.
Fans visit the USL Pro fan page on Facebook at facebook.com/USL Pro. About to enter our 19th minute. 1-0 Orlando City. The goal coming from Kobe Span in the 12th. And the reserves from the Montreal Impact chasing a 1-0 game.
Which is, as we always say, not where you want to be if you're a visiting team coming, or well, it doesn't matter. If you're a team playing against Orlando, you don't want to be down.
And you'd have to think Montreal I'm sure they've done their due diligence on their homework, but because they haven't played Orlando City the last 4 years in this league, they're not, I'm certain, are not as sure of their tendencies. Oh, Span goes right through the tackle attempt there. That was man versus boy. Basically an MLS player against an academy player. As Charbonneau hit the deck.
Charbonneau, 18 years old. Applying his trade up here with the big boys.
Well, results notwithstanding, the reserve league and then the games against USL Pro teams has certainly helped out the MLS clubs and helping developing their younger player. Normally, those players don't get many games.
Yeah, you'd say, where would these players, if they're not getting time with the first team, so to speak, where would they be playing? So this league is great. Their creation of a reserve league and their inclusion into matches in USL Pro really helps these clubs in giving players competitive games to play in, not just training bodies.
Diagonal ball, and Brian Burke wins that one. He's off to the races. Leaves it along the right side to Alvarez. Got the pass from Span, and that one was looking for Mbenge, taken away. One overshot the target by just a bit. 20 minutes gone by, 1-0 Lions. Tyler Turner playing center back tonight. So you're getting Burke and Turner on the field with the absence of Redding, who was already filling in for the injured Rob Valentino, who was getting closer and closer to coming back.
Well, that's where Tyler Turner plays with the U18, so he's no stranger to a center back position.
Toulouse sends back now Alvarez, who's got 1 goal on the season. Now corner to Mbenge, will shoot with the left foot and just missed the right post by a few inches.
Yes, that did not miss by much, Jeff. Whistled that by the post. I'm sure the breeze may have
taken
shook
some
the
pain
post
out,
just a little bit. That was close. So either Crapo has that perfectly measured out, or he got a little bit of a squeaky bum as that went by, because that was really, really close.
Mbenge with 1 goal in USL Pro competition. He's had some absolute crackers in the preseason and some of the friendlies this year.
If he does get anywhere near frame and he's got an open look, it's coming to you with some pace.
And that Disney Pro Soccer Classic in the preseason. What do we have here? A player down, and training staffs are running on quick. And Yordani Alvarez is down. This is not good.
No. Anytime a player goes down like that,
everybody will have a seat as we hope for the best here for Yordani.
And the place got really, really quiet. You can see the concern on the fans' faces right now.
Well, we saw the training staffs
there was no hesitation.
Leave off that bench in a heartbeat.
There was no hesitation, Jeff. They ran quick, fast, and in a hurry. You can see everyone's quite concerned here. Of course, we have no word about what happened, so there's no need in making speculation. The only thing we could say is, everybody, including ourselves, will say a little prayer here and just hoping that Yordani Alvarez is okay. I have never heard this.
A hush.
I have never heard.
Silence at an Orlando City contest.
I have never heard that so quiet.
Yordani, a player who was with Adrian Heath from the beginning over in Austin.
See Tyler Turner there. He's in prayer.
Yordani, the 2011 Player of the Year in this league. Down on the pitch, being attended to by the training staff. And that's always a good sign.
Applause are always positive, Jeff.
One of those things where you're just reminded that it's a game, it's a sport, but then you put things in perspective. when you've got an injury situation like this, soccer seems very insignificant.
Yeah, you certainly, it's you know, player safety and the concern for the player first and foremost.
Well, he's up and he's walking.
Well, that's a good sign right there.
I think it's safe to say we will not see him the rest of the night, and that's a good thing.
Well, being that we didn't know what was going on, and you know, the things that can go through your mind are sometimes some of the worst things you could imagine. So I'm just, as my heart almost leapt for joy just in seeing him walking
and hearing the crowd respond.
And hearing the crowd, because we didn't know what was going on, and you just have this horrible sinking feeling. So wonderful, wonderful to see him walk that off.
So Aiden Quinn will come on in relief, first sub of the night for Orlando City, and it comes in an injury situation here in our 25th minute. So Aiden Quinn in, Jordani Alvarez out, and will be checked out by doctors here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports for sure, and the training staff, the Orlando Health training staff of Orlando City.
Yeah, it's a top-notch, first-rate doctors and trainers that work with Orlando City, so he's in great hands to assess whatever had happened. But here's prayers to him for a quick, speedy recovery, whatever it is, and we hope to see him back on the field as soon as he's able. Certainly not tonight, but down the road. But Aiden Quinn comes in, and you never know where your opportunities will come from as a player.
That's what Coach Heath has been saying all week.
He gets a chance to step in now and fill a role that's going to be needed.
Quinn began the season as a starter there in the central midfield. A 6', 155-pounder out of San Diego, 22 years old. And this is rookie season. He's got the bloodlines. His dad, Brian Quinn, if you're an old U.S. national team fan, was part of that setup, 91 to 94. He's an indoor soccer Hall of Famer as well. So, and Aiden spelled A-O-D-H-A-N, the Irish spelling.
10 guesses where his dad comes from. The first 9 don't count.
That's right.
He comes from Ireland.
Brian Quinn. Spent some time at Everton, 79 to 81. A very long professional career. Is now Montreal with his first corner of the night. Ooh, player flying in, got to clear it out of there. Bounced dangerously inside the 6-yard box, and will go for another corner for Montreal.
Well, certainly did. I think he overshot it just a tad, was trying to get his head back onto it.
It's always interesting when you have an injury stoppage and how momentum sometimes shifts with that as players come to terms with the changes.
Well,
see if Montreal can take advantage.
It's also sometimes a very tough thing to have to bounce back when you see one of your own go down in a very odd situation. But I'm sure the Orlando City players will be, they probably know that their guy is up and he's okay, so they can move on and keep their heads into this game. And sometimes it's a hard thing to do after you have an injury or a situation like that happened.
Footy Dansu. Strong with the ball now, Ferrari. A 34-year-old Algerian Italian. Formidable pairing there in the center of the back. 6'3" and 6'2".
And notice those crosses when they come in from Orlando City fullbacks, they come in on the floor. So they kind of take that out of the play, don't they, Jeff?
Last pass from Montreal went awry. Now in Benge. That springs Bowden on the left side. Charbonneau gives chase. Here comes the cross. Far post, player in the air. Crepeau has made contact. See Austin Deleuze have words with Matt Miscannon, but play will continue.
Well, there was Kobe Spann comes across. He and Maxime Crepeau make contact. Typically when that happens, the referees will protect the goalkeeper, even though you saw Austin Blue saying, hey, he got the ball.
Bowden heading over to Burke. And Turner plays it out. Defender's back in. Nice one touch. Didn't find its intended target initially. And trying to become a one-man wrecking crew is Belan Goyette. That was Gonzalez, the forward, who went down.
Don't think there's much in that. I got to be honest. I think he made quite a meal of that one.
The youth international for Uruguay earns the free kick. Meshack there to take, and we know what he can do with the set piece. Nope. That one pounded off of the wall by Callum Malice.
The only thing that was missing from that dive was the water.
See Miguel Gallardo, 29-year-old keeper, getting another start tonight. Has 4 clean sheets, looking for a 5th tonight in league play.
He's having a good season so far, Jeff. A very good season.
He'll be the first to tell you, though, it's a product of the defense that's in front of him.
He's right, and it is. You can't do it all on your own, but I will tell you that when called upon,
dangerous ball at the top of the 6, and let's just say it was not handled with grace.
I don't think he's going to be plying his trade at Ringling Brothers. He's not very good at balancing on top of a ball.
Oh, great move.
Is that going to the spot?
Herzog goes down inside the 18. They award the free kick right there.
He can't believe it.
And now a yellow has been shown to Charbonneau.
He gets by Charbonneau, and he's like, I was in the box. I got to be honest with you, from my vantage point, I thought he was in the box. So here we go. Let's have a look. So he does some step overs. Now he's going to take him out. He's going to cut it.
Foul happened outside. Good call.
It was right there. It was right there.
You got to make your case if you're Herzog, that's for sure.
Well, the referee certainly at that point is not only watching the contact, he's watching where the player is. Of course, Corey Herzog, he's just thinking, I'm getting into goal, and he knows that as he's going forward, he's seeing that he's in the box. So the player's going to argue that he was in the box, but the referee probably had this one spot on.
See Quinn, perhaps the one to settle on as Mbenge goes into the wall with Herzog. Quinn will approach with the left foot here. Excuse me, no. That was, I want to say, Pulis that stepped up and said, psych.
Strong low drive.
Come the counter from Montreal. Ball ahead, direct fashion, will go way too far out in front to bother anybody.
I think the Montreal player would have needed to be Flash Gordon to get to that.
And Mbenge. Bowden will take the space given to him. Tried to beat Dansu through the air. No such thing. Comes the switch for the Lions. Now Brian Burke will give it a shot from the right flank. Or not. Span. Great ball.
Oh,
and Mbenge will shoot it off of Crapo, and it's a corner kick, Orlando.
Should have done better with that one, Jeff.
I'll credit Maxime Crapo for standing his ground.
That's a chance missed, and Adama will know that one. You know, you're at the near post, you got the keeper dead to rights, you hammer that one high to your near post. Looks like you tried to go low at a weird angle, but that's a chance missed for Adama Mbenge. Hit it strong. The keeper had to be sturdy for sure.
Pulis back post. Maxime sends it away. And Turner comes all the way out to make sure it doesn't cause any problems. He'll continue the run. And Montreal will try to build out of the back. Now a turnover and offside. As Span was in an offside position, the flag goes up. Make sure to follow at USL Pro on Twitter for all the latest updates on USL Pro Soccer. All your scores as we have a number of games this evening. 6 in league play tonight. Charlotte hosting Oklahoma City, Richmond hosting Harrisburg, Rochester hosting Pittsburgh, Dayton is at Orange County Blues later tonight, Arizona United FC is at Sacramento Republic FC.
Sign up and get those tweets.
14 teams you got to keep track of, and now you add in the MLS reserve teams. This one 1-0 Orlando City, the goal by Kobe Spann, the FC Dallas loanee, back in the 12th minute. A little over 10 minutes from halftime. And handled by Ferrari. I wonder what kind of car he drives.
A Mazda. I have no idea.
Matteo Ferrari.
Wouldn't it be something if he did drive a Ferrari?
I'm sure he's racked up some nice coin playing in the Serie A for so many years.
Do you think like Ferrari is like the Italian equivalent to Jones in America? Like, you would say, is he related to Ferrari? But how many Ferraris?
I thought you were going to say, is Ferrari the equivalent of Ford in the United States? That's where I thought you were going.
Well, he's like, my name is Ferrari. Everybody's like, oh, you're related to the car maker? No, there are millions of Ferraris in Italy. You wonder.
It's only one, Adama and
Ford.
Benge.
Ford's a fairly common name, true.
Benge with a nice little step over as he went inside the 18. Here's the throw in. Now Quinn leaves it off for Adama. Unable to clear Montreal, now able to do so. Ball just seemed to hang in there waiting for somebody to claim it.
Well, I got to tell you, it seems like one-way traffic on the left side for Orlando. I mean, if you're Jack Charbonneau or Yannick Charbonneau right now, you're going, can someone help me, please? If I see these guys running past me one more time, if I was him, I'd be yelling at 45, Victor and DA. I'd be like, get back here and help me.
36 minutes in, we're still waiting for a shot by the Montreal Impact. It has been heavy in the Orlando City attacking end. This is not uncommon. Nice turn in the middle by Spann. Full spread left, and Benge has been so active so far. Here's Adama, will send it off for a corner off of Charbonneau, who stood his ground.
And turns around and points everybody and goes, is somebody going to come back here and help me?
The 18-year-old, he's a development academy player. Certainly developing tonight going up against the Lions. Again, for those of you watching in Montreal, Lions will be 21st expansion franchise beginning play next year. Here's Pulis, the corner kick into the 6, still alive. And throw in Orlando City.
Good cover by Montreal Impact. Good cover. That's why you're there on the post. Ball did get by, but dealt with. Otherwise, that was going to be a goal.
I'll leave it for Burke. Make some room. Work it into the corner. Cross is, boy, a tough one to handle for Crepeau.
Oh, well done by Brian Burke as well to get that down and get it served in.
I thought that was going out for sure. You can hear the members of the Iron Lion firm and ruckus making their usual ruckus. Look a little thin in the ranks tonight with the U.S. national team game being played up in Jacksonville. I know a couple of the guys were tweeting that they were supporting the U.S. A lot of those guys have dual memberships to American Outlaws. Now, last report, it was 1-0 USA in the second half. Not sure what our final was.
Well, you can't blame them for taking one night to go support the country. But still, the group that's here is in. Whoa, hello.
Boy, first shot there for Montreal. A tough one for Gallardo to handle. Got to make sure he's still awake. Got to test him.
That one had some Vaseline on it.
We got word that the United States indeed defeated Nigeria 2-1 in the last World Cup tune-up. So 3 wins in the send-off series for the United States. Now looking to send Orlando to a 2-0 lead perhaps. That one sent in. Bowden gave it a nice crack.
Once again, Montreal just not able to come up with an answer for Orlando's possession. Certainly they play up the left side.
Toulouse leaves it for Mbenge, now left. Lots of time on the ball tonight for the home team. I'd like to perhaps get another goal before halftime to make it all worth their while.
Well, I'm sure the stats will show the dominance. And Orlando City with certainly more quality chances.
Spam with the pass there. Berg zigged when he should have zagged.
This game could be 2 to 3-0 at this point.
Meshack and Malice. A 1-2. Now the switch is made by Montreal. Charbonneau. Balan Goyette. There's the header by Gonzalez. Anthony Jackson Hamill up there as well. And that delivery left a lot to be desired.
That was overcooked.
A bit. Well done.
In cooking terms, you'd say it was burnt.
Leather. Gallardo clears it away. 50-50 ball in the air. Callum Malice. Best name on the side for sure. Born in Scotland, raised in Minnesota.
Malice.
Malice is malintent.
Like, Malice. It sounds like you're going to like a heavy metal concert. I'm going to see Malice.
Graduated from Marquette 2011. He was a Big East midfielder of the year at Marquette. He was a second-team All-American. So he's seen 6 games on the senior level in the MLS this year for the Montreal Impact. Drafted 20th overall in the 2012 MLS draft. '41st minute, 1-0 Orlando. It seems like they should be up 2 or 3.
Montreal just not able to find any kind of consistency or continuity in the attacking third.
Again, some good recovery being made by Dansu, Ferrari. Jerome on the left, Charbonneau on the right. Trying to keep possession for more than 3 passes, able to do so here. There's the run by Balan Goyette. He'll overlap. Back to Charbonneau, the right back, who really tucks in. Malice sends it wide. Tissot. Boy, nice ball in, but handled by Gallardo.
Yeah, no trouble with that one. Miguel's able to read the flight.
It was like a kickball outfield put out.
No challenge on it. And yeah, you're right.
Mbenge with some real estate. Closer and closer, left foot. Able to retain. Tough angle and hits the side netting.
Well, he had to do a lot of work there, did Adam Mbenge.
Well, fans, Nike is a proud sponsor of USL Pro. You can follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information.
A lot of work went for naught. Wasn't able to quite pull it back. Wasn't able to find a purple shirt in the box. So he decided, I'm just gonna hammer it on frame. Unfortunately, he hammered it in the side netting a little bit off frame.
Give a lot of credit to the keep, Maxime Crépeau. He's kept this just a 1-goal game, as his side has conceded plenty, the lion's share of possession, to borrow the pun.
The Lions have had the lion's share of possession. Pun intended.
Toulouse able to get it to Span. Overlapping run being made by Burke, and Corey battles along the byline, and that one won convincingly by Dansu, he would say. Use that 6'3", 185-pound frame to ward off Corey Herzog. If you're just joining us, Yordani Alvarez started in the central midfield, had to yield in the 20th minute because of an injury he suffered. Don't know the extent of it, but he did walk off under his own power. Aiden Quinn has replaced him. So no Darwin Surin, who's on international duty, and no Yordani Alvarez. So your 2 normal starters in the central midfield have fielded the two really good, talented players themselves. We're really deep there, aren't we?
A lot of midfielders to choose from in the Orlando roster, and it's a good thing. But they always put 5 in the midfield, so that's where you need the most amount of players.
Pulis, we've known about his exploits the last 3 seasons, of course, when he's healthy. And Russin taken down, and now somebody will have to fill the gap defensively. And the aforementioned Pulis able to do the job.
That's a pretty easy foul, really. I think he went down quite easy there. I've seen a card house go over hard. I think it's harder to take down a card house.
Fans, every USL Pro regular season and playoff game will stream live on YouTube in 2014. Features include DVR, chat, and social media interactivity. Subscribe for free to the Orlando City SC YouTube channel today. Now in the 45th minute. Good chance here for Montreal as Callum Malice will stand over along with Santiago Gonzalez. Gonzalez steps over. Malice sends it away, curling far post and headed by Orlando City. See if the Impact can steal one here as we go into the half. Getting word from the technical area that we will have 3 minutes of added time here in this first half. They start now.
You'd expect as much.
All through. Adama Mbenge has Herzog on the right. If he can keep it on his foot, able to do so. Here's a shot from the left. And Herzog vacated the area, or that would have been his second goal of the season.
Oh, you saw Corey peel off. You don't know what communication happened, but certainly he was in an area right near the corner of the 6, near where Adama Mbenge was. All he needed to do was knock that ball diagonally back a little bit to Corey Herzog, and you might have had your second goal. Unfortunately, I don't think Adama looked up, and I don't think he heard Corey.
Jerome Mashak to break things out. Tyler Turner. Quinn play it back. Now comes all the way to the keeper, Miguel Gallardo. 1 minute into 3 minutes of stoppage time here, first half. 1-0 Orlando City.
Keep the ball moving if you're Orlando. The more you have it, the more you change point of attack, the more you make Montreal run and chase. And in this heat with only 14 players, that's gonna go to the side. It's gonna bode to the favor of Orlando City. Oh, there we go. Good ball.
Burke. There's the cross, far post, nobody home, and Mbenge gets there
handball.
late. Crowd certainly thinks there was a handball, but it will just be a free kick for Orlando City.
Certainly had a good shout for a handball.
Here's a switch. Burke will try to get service in. Quinn and Span playing catch. Now Adama. Bowden to the byline, can't get there. 2 minutes into stoppage time, first half.
And it has been all Orlando City, Jeff. Very dominant performance by Orlando City. No matter what players they've had on the field tonight, same result.
And the Lions undefeated now coming into this game against MLS reserve sides. Beat the Seattle Sounders reserves twice last year, home and road. And then earlier this season, really controlled the game against FC Dallas, allowed a couple of late goals, but won 3-2 on the road. Trying to make it 4 for 4 tonight in their final 2 seasons in USL Pro. Of course, the news that this USL Pro franchise will transfer to Louisville. Learned that this week as they made the announcement. Louisville City, same colors. And we'll talk more about that in the second half. First half ends 1-0 Orlando over the Montreal Impact. Kobe Span the goal in the 12th minute. It holds up. Lions lead it. And let's take a look at the one-sided stats for sure.
Well, I'd expect them to be very, very one-sided. And there you go. It's 1-0 Orlando City, but 13 shots, 10 of them on frame, forcing Maxime Crépeau to 9 saves. Corners 5-2. Well, your fouls are even at least. But Orlando's also in the offsides battle 2-0. This one's a dominating performance by Orlando City so far in the first half.
Well, Tom, the Impact will have a puncher's chance in the second half. We'll be there in about 12 minutes. We'll rejoin you. You're watching USL Pro Soccer on YouTube. We'll be back. Span, and the assist was Bowden. Yep. We're back at the ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex at Walt Disney World Resort, Orlando City, with a decisive 1-0 advantage, if you want to call it that. Jeff Radcliffe alongside Tom Traxler. They got that first goal in the 12th minute from Kobe Span, and in fact really outshot Montreal handily, but only have the one goal to show for it. But boy, it was pretty.
Well, that's textbook right there. Look at that ball driven, put on a platter for Kobe Span just to come through and tuck it away into the far post. That, as I said, was right off their training pitch, Jeff. Go to training any day of the week, you're going to see that exact movement, that exact service, and that exact finish. So it couldn't come any better. And it's just about as comfortable a 1-0 as you could get. Very, very dominating. Montreal with no answer for Orlando City's attack, certainly up the left-hand side. It seems like it's just all lanes open on that left side, Jeff.
But only one goal to show for it, so you got a puncher's chance if you're the Impact here on the road with just 14 players. 2 field subs, 1 goalie available here in the second half. We'll see what their coaching staff decides to do. Nicholas Kuniakis. Not sure if Frank Klopas made the trip after the big win Wednesday night to win the Voyageurs Cup over Toronto FC. They're the Canadian champions for the second straight year.
What, you didn't make a trip down to Orlando? Doesn't everybody want to come to Orlando?
Yeah, I think they go to Disney World just to win a championship.
Isn't that what you say? What are you doing now? I'm going to Disney World. Not if you're Frank Klopas.
You got it. You get a trophy out of it. That's what you play for. Underway, second half. We switch sides. Orlando and the purple will go from left to right now. And how important is it that they get maybe another goal tacked on here to make this a little bit more comfortable?
Well, it's really important. 1-0, you're comfortable. You're creating chances, but the game always gives a team some opportunity, and that's your worry. You're letting them hang around a little too long. And this is how draw occurs. It's how losses occur.
Well, the one touch to Mbenge there off of the foot of Span.
But it's how draws occur. You let a team off the hook, so to speak, by keeping them around, by not tucking your own chances away. So it's going to be important that when Orlando City get in front of goal, they've got to keep composure. They've got to take their chance. Make this 2-0.
There's Austin Deleuze. Wide to Brian Burke. Montreal will clear the lines. And Russin will retrieve and send it back to his keeper, Miguel Gallardo, who has been with Orlando City since the beginning. Been one of the top keepers in the league. Now in his 4th season here in Orlando. Of course, came over with the club from Austin. And now this USL franchise will actually, as we were talking before the half, Tom, will transfer, if you will, over to Louisville. And then they will begin playing USL Pro next year with Wayne Stopenel. This week had the press conference in Louisville at Louisville Slugger Stadium, where the Louisville Bats, AAA affiliate of the Cincinnati Reds, play. So they'll play in a baseball park. And James O'Connor, man who's played over 525 games in his professional career, will start his managerial career off in Louisville next year.
Well, I couldn't be any happier for James O'Connor. I had a chance to talk with him a little bit today, and there we go. Cross served in, no problem for Maxime Crépeau. Hauls that down. But look, Corey Herzog, he's not going to let anything off easy. If he thinks he can get a piece of leather from his boot on it, he's gonna. But we're talking about James O'Connor. He gets to be the first head coach in Louisville City. And that was funny because here's James O'Connor. He's Irish, and I'm trying to tell him, okay, James, it's not Louisville, it's not Louisville, it's Louisville. When you go there, it's Louisville City. But he gets to be the first manager of Louisville City, and to be able to decide the direction for the team, you pick the players, This is all exciting stuff.
Oh, great ball.
Good ball in.
By Mbenge, and it will lead to a corner kick for Orlando.
He gets to pick the training kit. You might have a hand picking the kit. I mean, these are all just exciting things for James O'Connor, and he is a top-notch individual, and I am absolutely thrilled for him.
They will be the USL Pro affiliate of Orlando City's MLS club, which makes plenty of sense. So expect them to play the same style, the 4-2-3-1. Those of you watching in Louisville tonight to get a look at your team for next year, a number of these players on this field may make the transfer, the ones that do not make the jump to MLS. Not going to speculate on who those folks will be, but you're going to get a good team regardless. And of course, you'll get some loanees from Orlando City that will make it even more exciting. So you get an instant winner there in Louisville. There's a giveaway by Tyler Turner, and unable to do much with it was Gonzalez, and it'll be cleared back.
And missed his touch to the inside. Didn't get far away from him.
I believe that was Herzog that went back on defense to just make sure things work out. He'll receive a pass now. Actually, that was Brian Burke, excuse me.
Well,
that didn't bother anybody off the fence.
Only the guy selling sodas.
50th minute, 1-0 Orlando. I do like the shield. It's very similar to Orlando City's
I've heard
new MLS shield. However, it's got the bourbon barrel look on it.
Well, I've also heard they're going to have they're going to let the fans kind of make a logo. I think this may be a placeholder. It could be. I have heard telltale that they're going to have a design the crest competition and let the fans pick their favorite. This is what I've heard. I don't know if that's like concrete fact or not. So
left side into the box. Step 2 by Dansu.
There was Luke Bowden again. Down the left side. Cross comes
what
in.
He does. Battle for the ball and free kick awarded to Montreal. Wayne Estopanol, of course, one of Orlando City's owners from the beginning. Native of Louisville. Runs an architecture firm and never really left home. And of course, the rest of Orlando City's management will oversee things as well, as far as the relationship between the two clubs. So it was nice to see Gingy. That's the nickname we have for Coach James O'Connor. Wear a full suit. I'm not used to seeing him. I'm used to seeing him in his training garb with his French Foreign Legion hat on. The Irish skin to keep the Florida sunshine. I wonder if that will be a welcome change. Won't be nearly as hot. The sun not as intense.
I think he'll still be wearing the Foreign Legion hat.
He is certainly Irish through and through.
Well, Louisville City's getting a good one.
Here's Aiden Quinn. But for those of you in Louisville watching here on YouTube tonight, thanks so much. Hope you're as excited as we are. Of course, a couple of new teams coming your way next year in USL Pro. Colorado Springs as well, the Switchbacks. Love that nickname for the... anytime you hike up a mountain in a place like Colorado, there are lots of switchbacks.
So that, I was just going to say, what's that? A switchback?
You're not an avid climber or hiker, huh?
No, I wouldn't say so.
There's a ball to the far post, delivered by Burke. Now Bowden will retrieve.
Bodies are flying everywhere to try and get that one.
Lions continue to look dangerous. Another ball, and Crepo handles it.
My gosh, as many crosses as Orlando City's getting. Montreal Impact need a crossing guard.
USL Pro continues to expand in the solid marketplaces around the country. And of course, Louisville's been devoid of soccer for a while. The Coopers, I believe, are the supporters group that are already established, just like the Ruckus were before Orlando began.
You love it. Doesn't take long.
Of course, Wayne mentioned how the MLS may continue to expand past 2020, so you do the right things there, maybe they're in the future plans, perhaps. But right now, they've certainly concerned with becoming the best USL Pro club they can be. Get a good start. Turner again playing center back tonight. Good to see him and Burke in the game at the same time.
Well, it's good to see Brian Burke making a solid return after his lengthy injury spell. And you have an injury like his, you never know what's going to happen on the recovery path. And, I'm sure you ask yourself the question, will he come back the same player? Well, we're happy to say yes. Brian Burke is absolutely the same player.
Oh, dangerous ball to Gonzalez. He'll lift it off to the right. Didn't trouble Miguel Gallardo.
I think he was trying to get that bent into the post, but the problem was there was no bend on it.
And Orlando City coming in 9-0-3, 30 points, 6 points clear of second in the USL Pro standings. LA Galaxy 2 still holding up that number 2 spot, but look out, Richmond on their way, just a point behind. They were in third. We know what Lee Kalashaw's club is capable of. They won the regular season title last year and have always been a nemesis of Orlando City. If you're Louisville, that is a team to watch out for. Wilmington, of course, continues to win and get results. They're 5-1-3 just with 9 games played. Currently in 5th. Sacramento Republic, what a story they've been, not just with what they've done on the field, but off with the 20,000 attendance numbers that they've reached like on 4 different occasions this year.
Yeah, you always go, okay, first game, that's easy. It's easy to get your big crowd to your first game. They've sustained it. That, to me, shows me there's something there. I've often said to myself, LA has, well, look at this.
Adama and Benge, the touch was just a bit heavy. Is Charbonneau able to recover?
Yeah, with Sacramento doing those kind of numbers, and you sit and there's 2 teams sitting in LA, only one of which is really solid, which is the LA Galaxy. Do you take a runner and move the second franchise to Sacramento?
Well, Don Garber said he wants to keep it in LA. It'll stay in California for sure. Chivas USA will be rebranded next year. They in fact don't have the relationship this year at all with Guadalajara at all. It's just Chivas USA in name only. I remember when they made the announcement, there were lots of jokes on Twitter on what they wanted to name it. Chivas TBA was one of them that had a nice ring to it.
You just saw a substitution for Montreal, so there's one. They only have one more field player substitution that they can make.
Yeah, Charles Jolly, number 63, one of their academy players in now. Let's see if this is a happy sub for Coach Kuniakis. As Jolly will see who he came in for. So one field sub remaining, as my partner Tom Traxler just said. Boy, nice move there in the back. Now Malice. It's Montreal, you see they're trying to establish a bit of possession here in the second half.
Well, it's much easier to keep the ball and knock it around yourselves than it is to chase it when someone else is doing that to you.
Again, Adama Benge forces a turnover. He and Kevin Molino, perhaps the 2 players that have really come of age this year. Molino was already there to a large extent, but really has just taken it to another level this year.
He's having a great season, possibly his finest season ever, Kevin Molino.
Molino with 9 goals this season. Had 6 goals in his first 3 seasons here, total.
That's off.
Benge, the flag was up. Scores, stats, news, and more can be found exclusively on USLProSoccer.com. Of course, you can check the scores from the other 5 contests this evening. Oklahoma City and Charlotte, Harrisburg, Richmond, Pittsburgh, Rochester, and then later on tonight, Dayton and Arizona, both out on the West Coast, taking on Orange County and Sacramento, respectively. And a game tomorrow. Dayton will do the back-to-back at LA Galaxy 2. That's a tough one. Left Luke Bowden now just keeps it alive along the touchline. Here's the cross at the penalty spot. Touches Montreal player, and they'll break out with Gonzalez.
Somehow that squeezed through 2 Montreal players, and Corey Hertzog had just already made his run by.
Here's a switch to Charbonneau. Now in the middle. No fuss, no muss. Burke.
So far, nothing really troubling for Orlando City. One real decent effort on frame in the first half.
All it takes is one.
Well, but you look and you go, okay, there's one thing if you're creating chances and you're not getting the luck. I'm not seeing Montreal create many chances.
I think it's tough for these reserve teams because they're made up of so many moving parts. As Benge goes tumbling in the middle of the park. Span lets it fly, and he's got a brace. Goal, Orlando City. Kobe Span.
Well, the way the 2 players are down in front of him, would you say that was a spare? The ball came through, knocked out a couple pins, which opened up the other side of the lane. Brian Span comes across, gets the slash, picks up his spare. There go the pins. Down they go. Adama Benge do his bowling ball imitation. He cuts inside his right and tucks it inside the post.
Kobe Span picks up the 7-10 split and has his 3rd goal of the season. What an analogy. The bowling ball, Adama and Benge.
I do my best.
Now we played an hour and the Lions have doubled their lead. And that was tough on Crapo. Really nothing he could have done because the ball was going one way and then took the deflection and went in.
You hate those deflections if you're a keeper. Sometimes they really get you. But no less than what Orlando City deserves so far in this one. You know, the only shocker is that they don't have more.
And Span making a case to play even more. In the absence of Kevin Molino, who we were just talking about, with his 9 goals and 23 points to lead the league.
You can see how hot it is immediately when there's any stoppage of play. Players are getting those fluids. Here you go. This is Fudi Densu's got this comes off Adama Benge kind of rolling into him. So there's Coach Adrian Heath having a word with the official.
Visit the USL Pro fan page on Facebook at facebook.com/USL Pro. Supporter sections large and in charge. The banners, scarves, and the chants, of course. They didn't choose to drive to Jacksonville this afternoon. They been rewarded for staying here to support their home club.
I don't know. Supporters are doing a good job out there tonight, Jeff. They're loud.
Oh, as
Drums
always.
are going. Not as many.
I wasn't going that way.
No, I know. Not as many, but I'm complimenting the performance of the ones that are there. They always definitely add something to the atmosphere of every game.
Should we nickname the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex here, this facility, the bowling alley now? Is that appropriate?
Sure, why not? Splitsville.
Who plays the part of the Big Lebowski at this juncture? 63rd minute, 2-0 Orlando City, as Fudi Dansu will be tended to in the technical area.
Well, interestingly, I think he has to come off. There'll be no sub. He seemed to walk off okay. Because as we said, Montreal only have one more field player sub.
And he's coming on now, Adrian Lopez.
Well, there you go.
And for Dansu, and he is a defender, so Dansu, another academy guy. So Dansu's night is done.
Oh, wait. Did he just come back on?
Or not.
Yeah. No, I don't think he made a sub.
See, Charles Jolly, 63. He was the first sub.
Right.
We'll get that straightened out for you. Of course, our broadcast position actually and the ESPN production building just off to the right and behind the field that you see on your screen. So subs tough to see sometimes. Relying on the same cameras you're seeing. So we are getting word that Montreal went to sub, and then Dansu said, hey, I'm okay, don't sub for me, and he came back on. So the placard actually came up. So our boy Adrian Lopez will have to wait. So now into the 64th minute. All Orlando City.
And then some. And this is what you want to do now. If you're Orlando, let's just keep possession. But possession with a purpose, Jeff. It's always possession with a purpose. And here comes Rusty.
And coming off the line was Crapo. Bowden was right in on him. There's a shot. That one over the top.
As many times as we've seen Luke Bowden get down that left side, you feel like it's like being at the dog track. Here comes Rusty. He just keeps coming around.
Chasing the carrot or the rabbit. Make sure you follow at USL Pro on Twitter for all the latest updates on all the league action. As the supporters continue to get loud in front of Crapo. A young keeper who's acquitted himself quite well tonight. He's faced a lot of shots. Of course, Evan Bush started the first two in goal, the first two reserve matches for Montreal this season. He played all 90 minutes in that Canadian Championship win on Wednesday night, and now Dansu will come off, and we will introduce Adrian Lopez for real, number 26. So Lopez, the defender, is in.
Welcome to the fire, Mr. Lopez. And I mean, not the Chicago Fire, but from the frying pan into the fire. He is now in the fray.
Lopez last played in Spain. That's where he's from. 6 foot 192.
So how is that? Welcome to Enfuego? I don't know how you say welcome in Spanish.
Bienvenido.
Thank you. Bienvenido en fuego.
Bienvenue in français.
That's why. For some reason, it's one of the many, many reasons why I'm so glad you sit next to me, Jeff.
We normally have a Portuguese broadcast as well that you can tune into, but tonight not offered, as Marcos Perez earning a vacation, well deserved, and now a player down for Montreal. And not the time to lose a player, because now you're out of subs with the exception of a goalie and Evan Bush.
Yeah, I don't know if the keeper brought an extra kit for the keeper to go out onto the pitch. But you can see here, comes across an ooh, that's gonna hurt. Aiden Quinn tried to get out of the way of the tackle put in by Yannick Charbonneau, but ended up coming right down on his back.
Chiropractic adjustment. Orlando City is the official chiropractic provider of the Montreal Impact.
Certainly of Yannick Charbonneau.
He's all right. The young lads can take a licking and keep on ticking.
We'll feel that one tomorrow.
Be a throw in for the Impact.
Well, there we go. Corey Herzog not letting anybody off easy. Instead of having possession, they're going to get a throw in deep in their end.
Sent out to the left side. Now Montreal just can't get a good touch. That one rolls to Malice, though. Couldn't hold it long enough. Ooh. Dangerous ball and a giveaway. Here come the Impact. Charbonneau tied up at the top.
Oh,
dangerous ball, a shot off target. How did he miss?
Well, a comedy of errors there for Orlando.
That was a little Keystone Cops trying to recover.
Well, you'll see these touches come all over the place. There's Tyler Turner making a good challenge. The shot comes in. I'm not sure which Orlando City player it was. He tries to block it down, but it only ends up slowing it down and putting it in the path of Jackson
Hamill, who had 3 goals in the reserve win against New York Red Bulls. That was a 4-1 victory.
All that came from a little bit of a complacent touch in the middle by Tyler Turner. You have to focus and concentrate in every second of the match. Whether you're winning.
Span perhaps going for a hat trick. No.
Because the last thing you want to do at this point is give Montreal any self-belief whatsoever.
It's always that 2-goal lead, though, where sometimes you just take the foot off the accelerator. They tends to lead to things sometimes, right?
Well, look, Jeff, they're out of it. They're tired. They have no more subs. It's not looking good. All right, I think it looked better for the Titanic. All right, so the last thing you want to do is give them any type of hope whatsoever.
Coast Guard no longer here. Here's a race at the back. Along the touchline. Herzog. Now Burke, number 7, whips it to his left foot. Ole shot inside. Not sure if that was a cross or a shot, but it fell right to Crapo.
He cut it nicely onto his left, then he brought it back onto his right for the cross.
Brian Burke requests permission for flyby.
Request denied, goes right, and the pattern is full.
Maxime Tissot, the native of Gatineau, Quebec. Another one of those homegrown players for the Impact. It's 4 appearances for the senior club this year. Academy guy. Playing on the left for Montreal tonight. Span has a brace, 2 goals in this one in the 12th, one in the 60th. Orlando leads 2-0 thanks to him. Doing his best Josie Altidore impression here is Josie with a first and a second half goal. And a victory for the United States team as they get sent off to the World Cup, beating Nigeria 2-1. Told the goal they conceded was a penalty late.
Well, as any avid U.S. fan, here's hoping for a good World Cup.
Think about this, though. They scored 2 goals in each game of the send-off series. The 2 goals they conceded both came on penalties, so they did not give up a goal in the run of play.
They've never had quite a year like they've had so far, and I hope that this continues, into that first match, which is going to be critical for the U.S. against Ghana. That's the game you need your 3 points in.
Talked with Adrian Heath, Orlando City's manager, this week about his World Cup thoughts. And Deleuze had it taken away, and then saw a freight train coming. And Charles Jolly, who has really provided a spark here in the energy department for the Impact. He's made an impact.
Well, he certainly made an impact right there.
Yeah, way too easy, and I'm sure we have some rolling eyes up north of the border right now after that reference.
Thank you. We'll be here the rest of the half.
Montreal, like the other 2 Canadian clubs, well, very, very well supported. You can say the same of Vancouver and Toronto. Montreal has really been grown organically, coming up from the NASL in 2011.
They've come up from way back in
92
APSL and A-League, and they've come all the way up through it.
Like Orlando kind of built the organization to the MLS level. And they will be rivals next year in the Eastern Conference for sure. At the time, will be the northernmost and southernmost team.
There you go.
There's the cross on the right side for Brian Burke. Oh, what a move.
Wow.
To get free, ball rolls. And it will be a corner kick for Orlando. Burke put on a show there, and he pays the price for it.
Little collision. Ref's going to have a word. But didn't he do great? Letting that ball run right along the line before taking a nice
fouled,
little
so
deft
free
touch
kick.
inside.
Free kick.
He's going to get a booking. This one might be a booking.
Our referee again tonight, Matt Miscannon, and there it is, Charles Jolly. In the book. Second yellow card. The first was on Charbonneau in the first half in the 31st. So this one comes in the 70. Say the card was shown then in the 74.
Yellow card's been issued to number 50 of the Montreal Impact Reserve, Patrick Tissot.
The kick, top of the box. That one off the defender. Now you got to watch yourself on a counter. Callum Malice with bad intentions. Now out to the right side. Has two runners on the left.
3v2.
Great cross. Here comes Montreal. They cut to the left side. A shot and a goal.
Well,
Maxim Tissot.
That'll start it on a great outlet from that free kick. Wonderful counterattack by Montreal. Good final ball played across.
Gonzalez right there as well.
Who cuts it inside.
Quality finish for Tissot.
Maxime Tissot cuts it across and finds the back of the net. But again, just a wonderful, wonderful counterattack goal scored by Montreal.
They're like out of the gates at the Belmont right there.
Speaking of out of the gates, here comes a sprinter with some speed.
Dennis Chin set to check in. It's time to vote on your man of the match. Use the OC Game Day app and vote on your Orlando City man of the match. Dennis Chin comes in at forward. So his first action in a couple of weeks. Coming off that injury.
Had a little hamstring injury, but looks to be all healed up and ready to go. He's going to add some speed to these proceedings.
Herzog a handful. Montreal has pulled one back here in the 76th minute. That one actually went in the 75th. Maxim Tissot. So that spoils the clean sheet for Orlando. And gives Montreal a fighting chance here with 15 minutes to go. And that always dangerous 2-goal lead.
Well, that's the thing. You give up one and they're right back in. You've fueled their legs now.
Jolly's cross goes past the byline, doesn't trouble anybody. A very impressive counterattack goal. Too many players caught forward, and Miguel didn't have much of a chance. There were two runners in addition to the man crossing the ball. Pick your poison in that situation.
Well, they handled it well. It was a good centered ball, and Tissot took a lovely touch to his inside, able just to pass the ball beyond Miguel Gallardo.
Another miscommunication. That one goes off of an Orlando player. No, it will be a goal kick.
Callum
Malice.
Yeah. Callum Malice able to come inside. And you thought, this one looks like trouble. Thank goodness his effort was put off frame. Well, thank goodness if you're an Orlando City supporter.
Drilled by Quinn. Looking for Chin.
Orlando City seems to have fallen into a bit of a complacency.
Turned by Aiden. Now sent forward by Pulis. Now Burke, who's a nice lovely spell in the second half.
Orlando City want to get back to some energy, get that ball moving.
Here's a through ball looking for Bowden. Cross top of the box for Deleuze. Will get a second shot at it. No, cleared off.
Ball just hopped up on him.
Bowden drilled and headed out of there. Adrian Lopez. Lions continue to press. Another ball for Chin. Boy, not out of the woods. And Benge is offside. He scores and everybody cheers, but they came after the flag was up. No way to suck the smoke back in, unfortunately. Well offside there by a step. Good finish, though.
Well, he did tuck it away well. Unfortunately, didn't count. But if you're Orlando, you need to get this game back under control. Need to get the ball back moving. Need to get the fullbacks going forward. All seem to start from that little run of play where things just look a little unorganized and the ball was bouncing around. And since then, it's kind of been all Montreal.
Bowden retrieves the ball. He'll do the honors with the throw in. Dennis Chin. He is fouled.
If it was football, that was a 10-yard penalty for holding.
Matt Miscannon explaining things to Bowden, who will take this free kick quickly. Quinn, we begin to make the switch to the right side. Burke lays it off to Deleuze, who's played a nice game for the Lions. Span, who's got the 2 goals. Leaving it to Mbenge, now pushed out on the right side. And earns the throw.
Tom Mbenge working hard, coming cross pitch. Get himself on that one. Oh,
nice.
That's lovely.
Left it. Oh, comes right to Mbenge
boy.
in the box. Can he get the turn? Still alive. Burke gives it a go. Gets deflected. Now Quinn from distance, just over the top.
Nice job by Aiden Quinn taking the ball from his left to his right. Put a drive just over the crossbar. Watch this. Ball's going to pop up. He's going to take a nice little touch to his left. Catches it right off the half volley. Not too far over. All that came, of course, from a nice bit of work in the corner. Good bit of combination between, I think it was Brian Span and Brian Burke, or Kobe Span and Brian Burke. Lovely piece of work in the corner by the 2 of them.
A little bit of the creativity you will see at the MLS level next year for Orlando, and of course at the USL Pro level for Louisville. So a number of these players will split off, I'm sure. Here's Pulis. Now Russell back to Miguel Gallardo. Gonzalez was closing in quick. Now Montreal until Wednesday didn't have much to cheer about, to be happy about so far in this MLS season. Of course, they're off this week. And currently 2-6-3, 10th place in the Eastern Conference. So they got some work to do to move up the standings there in Major League Soccer. But they've got their trophy. It was an important one. Canadian Championship winners Wednesday night in the second game of the 2-leg contest against TFC, their rivals. Span. And Mbenge gives it a go and misses it by an inch to the right.
Not by much. That put Maxime Crépeau stretched out. Trying to keep that one away. Fortunately for him, it was off target.
The 20-year-old keep from Greenfield Park, Quebec, has gotten a workout tonight here at Walt Disney World.
As you saw, Mbenge able to get that onto that left foot of his favored left foot.
Turner will clear it just to be safe. Starting minute 84. 2-1 as Montreal looks for the equalizer here late. Switching the ball nicely. You said, Tom, this second half has been a different story, especially the last 20-30 minutes.
Well, they seem to have found some life, Montreal, and you know, maybe all due to a lovely counter, but
Balan Goyette gets fouled, and that will lead to a free kick for the Impact. Of course, Montreal was here in the preseason at the Disney Pro Soccer Classic. They were not in Orlando's bracket. As the Lions went undefeated, 4 draws against MLS competition. This one counts in the standings tonight, though. Nike is a proud sponsor of USL Pro. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information. So the Malice to send it in. Boy, a great ball and knocked out by Gallardo, who dove for it. Now can Orlando get the counter? Is Chin able to get the back heel? And he's off and fouled, and that will be a card. You're right.
You're going in the book, son.
So picked out is Balan Goyette, 3rd yellow of the night on Montreal.
He's like, Balan Goyette says, you're not going on a counterattack opportunity. I'm going to stop you right here at midfield. As you can see, Dennis Chin just gets his leg tangled up. Professional foul, technical foul. Referee produces the correct end result, which is a yellow card.
So Lewis in the book, a hockey and basketball player there in Quebec, just 18 years old, and decided, I'm going to make a career out of playing soccer. So I'm getting some time for the reserves tonight.
If this was hockey, he'd have been in the sin bin for 2 minutes.
Who doesn't play hockey there in Canada, right? Boy, nicely won by Montreal there in the back as Ferrari starts things off, and now some space to work for Gonzalez. Running it is Jolly to the far side and cleaned up by Bowden. They'll send it back to Miguel. And Miggy sends it into the night. Span looking for Chin, who outraces the camera. Here's the cross, and Mbenge, touch, shot, and just misses.
Wow.
Thought that was going in.
Wow.
Put it wide.
Good pass by Dennis Chin. And the finish just a hair wide.
That pained all of the supporters. It went in slow motion.
Well, he did everything right. Good low ball back to the far post. Just missed the target. And not by much.
Deleuze as Malice closes in. Now Bowden doing his usual work. Now Dennis Chin gets pushed off the ball, and off the line to take it is Crepo. Distribute right into the center. Not much time left in this one. Montreal looking for a late equalizing goal.
Montreal looking much the fresher team, surprisingly, Jeff, over these last 15 minutes.
I have some nice film to take back to Montreal after this. Either way, that cross will be kept in by Tissot, who has the goal. Oh, another dangerous ball, and Burke able to clean things up. Span ahead. Chin races to the touchline and just gets pushed off the ball. That will be an easy call.
Gets given a little extra shove.
Every USL Pro regular season and playoff game will stream live on YouTube in 2014. Features include DVR, chat, and social media interactivity. Subscribe for free to the Orlando City SC YouTube channel today.
It's been a great medium for seeing games this year, Jeff.
You can watch every game.
Yeah, fantastic.
Bowden.
Good cut inside.
Boy.
Driving on into the box.
18 and earns a corner kick for Orlando City. Boy,
go
he made that made that turn and didn't use a signal. Just like driving on I-4.
Must be last. What is this extra little thing on the side of my steering wheel?
What do you think that clicking noise is?
It's annoying.
89th. Lions try to make it 13 straight to start the season unbeaten. Coming in 9-0-3.
It's got to be getting close to a record, isn't it?
The record is 14 unbeaten in 2012, so they'll be one shy. Montreal has something to say about it, though. Well, nice little run gets stopped, and
there's still some work to do here to ensure that that streak continues. It's not a decided situation at this point.
And we've seen crazier things. That went into plenty of space. Ferrari will track it down.
Sure, Orlando City will be very happy to see them take the time, keep the ball at the back all you want.
Mateo with 64 appearances for Montreal the last couple of seasons, has been there since 2012. After playing in Italy most of his career, came from Beşiktaş, the Turkish power.
Beşiktaş,
which has about 4 different pronunciations. A turnover now, and Montreal will have possession in the attacking half. Nicely done by Gonzalez. Surveys things and tries to challenge Miguel Gallardo, and it didn't get done.
Saw that break down in the middle and transitioned into a dangerous opportunity.
As we get set to enter the 3 minutes of stoppage time, we'll remind you to join us Wednesday, June 11th. 7:30 start here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports. Your Orlando City Lions will host the Orange County Blues. That's coming up Wednesday. We hope to see you here.
3 minutes of stoppage time.
Got the Blues, and then hopefully we'll not be singing the Blues, because that will be the game that, if they can get a win or draw, will tie the record. Then it's off to Colorado to take on the Rapids in the U.S. Open Cup, a rematch of the game won by Orlando last year. This time it's on the road in the high altitude. Adrian Heath was talking about that this week. Not sure what to make of that. You're going to get out there perhaps a little early and adjust.
Actually, you know, Jeff, the funny thing is when you fly out there and you play quickly, you feel it a lot less than when you're there. It seems to take effect more when you're there a few days. You start to notice the difference. Some teams try to get in and out of there kind of quickly.
Nice work by Dennis Chin to get into the box. He left back for Pulis. Burke into the corner. Span, and the hero tonight. And we'll waste some time in the corner and make the turn go down. No call, and Montreal will take possession and play direct as we're in stoppage time. 2-1 Orlando City.
Yeah, if you're Orlando right now, just keep the ball. Keep it in their end. Turn this into a non-issue now. There we go. No need to do much more.
Man, a little argy-barginess. Got the supporters up, and I think it was equal parts there.
Adrian Lopez was thinking that Dennis Chin was the mechanical bull at Jilly's.
Going for a ride. About a minute remains here. Matt Miscannon trying to keep things civil. Ironically, the "don't tread on me" sign right there as that play developed.
But Dennis Chin's right. Don't ride on me. There's plenty of things to ride over in the theme parks. I'm not one of them.
If you're going to do so, wear a saddle. Span continuing to do the dirty work in the corner. Deleuze standing his ground. About 30 seconds remaining this one. Gonzalez will not have the chance as Turner sends it out. Short time in this one.
Well, as always, I think Orlando City will be happy to finish the game with another 3 points. Not sure they'll be so pleased with their final 20 minutes of work. And I know Adrian Heath will not hang his hat on, well, we're missing this player and that player. That doesn't matter to him.
The hand is in the air. Matt Miskanen blows a whistle to the end of this one. The Lions take it 2-1 over Montreal. It goes to the Pride of Lions. They have now become unbeaten in 13 games to open the season. They improved to 10-0-3 as the ILF in the house representing the 407. Something to cheer about tonight. Impact Reserves fall to 1-2 in the MLS Reserve League. So an entertaining game tonight here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports.
Well, there you go, Jeff. Take a look at it. This one turned out to be a lot closer than you thought it would be. 18-7 on shots, 12 on goal for Orlando City. Maxime Crépeau had a busy night in goal for Montreal, making 10 saves. Of course, the corner 7-2 to Orlando, 9-8 in fouls. Offsides 4-0 for Montreal. But all means one thing. Another Orlando City win, Jeff. 2-1.
Well, if you're Coach Kuniakis, who assists Frank Klopas on the senior side, you have some film to work on and get a sneak peek of what you'll see next year in Major League Soccer with Orlando City. Now 10-0-3, 33 points. They extend their lead in USL Pro, now 13 games unbeaten. For my partner Tom Traxler, our Director of Broadcasting and Video Production, Austin Hiddle, and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Jeff Radcliffe saying so long from the ESPN Wide World of Sports. Orlando City, a 2-1 winner over Montreal. Good night.